Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm thrilled to have you all here. My name is Namita, and I'm excited to guide you through our topic for today, the 4 E's of Instagram. Just to check, I hope you can see the slide, which I'm sharing with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we dive in, few quick notes about the presentation itself. The presentation is being recorded. This presentation is licensed under Creative Commons. The license given below on the slide, and it means that you need to give appropriate credit to the creator. The content can only be used for non-commercial purposes. And if you adapt or build upon this work, you must share your new creation under the same license. Captions are running throughout the presentation to ensure accessibility. If you prefer to turn them off, you can do so using the toggle button in Zoom. Additionally, I've used the Investigate Accessibility option while creating this presentation to make it more inclusive for everyone. So I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Um, I am joining you from the beautiful town of Langley in BC. And I want to acknowledge that I work, learn, and connect on the shared, unceded, and traditional territory of Coast Salish people, including Kwantlen, Katsi, Maskwi, Samayu First Nations. This picture, which you see on the slide, is of Fort Langley, a prominent historic feature of my town. If anyone from the audience would like to share acknowledgements from their own locations, please feel free to write them in the chat. It is important to recognize and honor the lands we are on, and I appreciate your participation in this. Thank you so much. So, a little bit of overview about my presentation. I've included a brief introduction about the Instagram, its advantages in educational setups, Instagram and how it fares on various levels of Bloom's taxonomy, 4 E's, and a 4 E's report card towards the end. And what is the relevance of Instagram in terms of equity, diversity, and inclusion? So, Instagram is a very powerful photo sharing tool, as we all know. Um, in fact, uh, it boasts of one of the most explicit relationship between engagement and reach of any social network. As the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So, with over 400 million users and half of them under the age of 30, Instagram has the potential to be worth much more than 1,000 words, especially if you are a teacher. The platform's visual nature and high engagement rates make it an incredibly valuable tool for connecting with audiences, sharing content, and building a community. Recent studies have shown that Instagram can be indeed effectively used in educational settings, though its potential in this area is often underrated and underutilized. Research indicates that Instagram's visual and interactive nature can enhance student engagement, foster creativity, and facilitate communication in ways that traditional methods might not. To substantiate this, I have included some studies. And first, I would refer to one exploratory study conducted by Painter, Morrison, Kraft, and Lee in 2020, where they analyzed the responses of 841 educators and suggested that intensive use of Instagram can really exchange instructors as well as students. It helps in enhancing professional knowledge, and it is a very effective tool for collaboration also. In addition to identifying benefits of Instagram use, some participants also offered critiques of Instagram professional utility. Then there is another study which I referred to by Gee. It was conducted in 2005, and it basically highlighted two basic principal concepts on which Instagram's success is based. One is affinity, and another is teacherpreneurship. If we talk about affinity, these are the spaces. It could be online or offline where people convene due to a shared interest or endeavor. This common interest or endeavor supersedes distinction such as age, gender that might shape users' interaction in other spaces. Teacherpreneurship, in fact, it is a new term, and it talks about that how teachers utilize Instagram to pursue their entrepreneurial pursuits as well as other pursuits in which teaching as well as engaging students is involved. Then there is a study by Richter and some other authors, which was conducted in 2020. In that study, authors highlighted three types of teacher collaboration on Instagram. You can refer to the study to understand it further. The study results are, in fact, eye opener, signifying the potential use of Instagram in education. But they also highlighted that co-creating is not frequently practiced by teachers on Instagram. So this is one area we all can focus on, and it is a literature gap also when I went through the existing studies. So now let's see how Instagram can be used in educational settings. So the platform offers unique opportunities for educators to connect with students, share resources, and create interactive learning experiences. We can post educational content, showcase students' projects, facilitates discussion, and further, Instagram has you can even use it to post class updates. It's a very interesting feature. And further, you can use hashtags for inspirational quotes and hashtags to further motivate your students. In fact, there is a study conducted by Statista. I've referred down on the slide, which was conducted in 2020, which talks about how hashtags can be used for motivating students as well as teaching community. And you can capture memories with your students, post them on Instagram, create reels, but keep in mind that incorporate user generated content. If you are going to include content which is just taken from the stock photography or AI, that is not going to motivate. So let's see how we can integrate Instagram into your classes. So you can use it to spice up assignments by giving it a visual twist. You can even include photo essays on specific topics, allowing them to tell stories through images and captions. Create writing prompts. This again, you can put a visual context to that. Photojournalism, present experiments in science, and further discuss experimental works or projects through Instagram, making the scientific process more accessible and engaging. So these are some ways we can integrate Instagram into education. So let's talk about that how Instagram fares in terms of various cognitive levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So let's start with the lowest level first, remembering. Yes, of course, when we are saying that we are going to use Instagram to post pictures and all, it helps in recall, understanding. Yes, there are so many things. Like I said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. The concepts, if you want to represent it pictorially, that's a big help. Applying. Applying also, and in fact, at the top, there is creating. At both the places, you can use Instagram, in fact, for the students to foster creativity and come up with their own analysis of a concept. So hence it helps in analyzing also. Evaluating. That's again a very surprising thing that yes, Instagram helps in evaluation, but not with the formal evaluations. But yes, we can come up with non-formal and formative assessments. And further, like I already emphasized, creating a lot of scope of creativity if we are going to use Instagram in the classrooms. So this is about Bloom's taxonomy. So Monica, any questions up till here?
Yeah, I guess I don't understand how you would use it in for a classroom
Mhm.
because wouldn't everybody have access to it, not just your classroom?
You're very right. Accessibility of Instagram requires that you should have good internet connection. So we are talking about both online as well as offline classroom settings. No doubt this is a drawback, but yes, if you have that kind of accessibility through internet, even if students are with you online, then it is a great opportunity. But yes, just like any other media-based tool or any other internet-based tool, it is required that you should have good internet access, right? So I just wanted to double check, Monica. Can you see my screens going further? Like you can see the content?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let's proceed with the next main topic of today, that how does Instagram fares on 4E parameters, right? So let's start with engagement. So does Instagram helps in engaging our students? Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, I have referred to a study done by Potter, and I've referred that study in my references also in the last slide. So very interestingly, Andy Potter has emphasized that how we are going to use three triumvirate on which Instagram is based, which is Reels, Grid Post, and Stories. So if we talk about Reels, Potter further emphasizes in his study that if you are posting images on your grid, they should be first, those should be real, captured images rather than stock photography or AI generated images, authentic, relatable visual, which drives better engagement and connections with your audience. Another is Reels. So, Reels are short, vertical videos that last a minute or less and can also appear on your grid. They are highly effective for reach. However, Porter notes that talking head style reels may not generate much engagement. Instead, try point of view videos showcasing campus spaces, events, etc. Stories. For all those time sensitive updates or less formal content, stories are the way to go. So whether it is a quick reminder of an event, a Q&A session, or posting a link to incorporate important resources, so it is a good source. So this is about the engagement factor. Now let's come to the next E, which is excitement. So of course, Instagram helps in exciting our students. How? We have already discussed, showcase some experiences, develop a hashtag strategy, involve your students, incorporate user generated content, leads to student belongingness also, share real testimonials. But yes, we have to be careful so that we are also correct. There is no insensitivity. You can always lay down the rules for your students, how they can work on this part, keeping in mind the professionalism, ethics, and respect for others. Incorporate reels and stories, create alumni community groups. So this is something about excitement factor. And can Instagram educate? Yes, the whole purpose of Instagram getting embedded in education is to educate the students. So use chatbots to support students outside of office. Spice up your assignments, include something visual. Students can share their notes. Create a class blog for discussions and cross-channel learning. Use live streaming for lectures and discussions. Use Instagram for digital storytelling. Create a class specific Pinterest board. Incorporate a social media crisis strategy. If suddenly there is something happens, what is the next way out? Information seeking and co-creation, this also goes hand in hand for education. And like we were discussing, evaluating part. So I have particularly referred to various studies for this part because it is a big question mark. How can we use Instagram for evaluation? So Raina 2021 and Alonso study along with other authors in 2023, they are giving a big yes to this parameter of Instagram. In fact, you can refer to one study by Keo, which focused on immediate teacher feedback factor of Instagram. Then peer feedback. There is a study by Vikneshwaran and Krish conducted in 2016. It is a very important factor. Self-assessment, self-evaluation. Wang and Spector in 2020 conducted a study and tried to understand how Instagram helps in self-assessment. Pre-test and post-test. This is again a very interesting study conducted by Huang and some other authors in 2014, which gave a very eye-opening opportunity in terms of pre-test and post-test. Means when the students are before they are being taught about a topic and after, how we can use Instagram-based quizzes and activities to test this. So hence we can say yes for evaluation, but not for formal evaluations, I would say. It's mainly for class activities. So let's see the results now. So in terms of report card, for Excite, I would like to give A plus here. We all agree how exciting students and especially the Gen Z as well as new generation will feel about using Instagram in their activities. Engage, yes, I've given A here. Educate, again, an A, right? We can certainly use it for creatively educating our students. For evaluation, I've given B minus, keeping in mind Instagram evaluations have its own limitations. Till the time we don't have further studies and researches and usage of Instagram for evaluation, for till that time, I would like to give it B minus. So next topic here is equity, diversity, and inclusion relevance of Instagram. So another very interesting thing is that many students are very shy. They do not want to participate in class activities as such. So Instagram, but they are very creative. They really have a lot of feelings about a topic. They really want to discuss it. So yes, you can include such students with the help of Instagram. Again, virtual travel Pinterest board you can create, right? Stories students can share. Students can come to know about the indigenous cultures through each other, and it can help in educating culture and languages. And yes, for example, there are some students for whom English is a second language. So probably language-wise, they are not very strong, but yes, they have very strong ideas. They have very creative ideas, which they can share through this picture-based platform. So if we talk about EDI component, again, I would like to give a strong yes to this, that yes, Instagram has relevance in terms of EDI. And yes, we have to keep certain things in mind. One is distraction factor, how to ensure that your students do not get distracted if you are putting up so much on Instagram. Whether you are gonna make it public account, private account, very important factor in terms of confidentiality, privacy, all those factors. Check institutional policies. Whether your educational institute, how much does it allows in terms of sharing information publicly, privacy norms and everything. So everything should be clearly studied before we delve into this tool. So if we keep all these factors in mind, I'm sure it's gonna be a really helpful tool. So here are some references which I have used in my study. I've tried to make it very well substantiated with good studies. I hope when you will refer to these, you will get some more information. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Now, house is open for questions and discussions, Monica. So I
Yeah,
hope the presentation was helpful. And
yeah,
if you
I
have
learned a lot.
questions,
Um, yeah, I didn't know you could do Pinterest boards and
yeah.
have private settings. That was actually one of my questions earlier was how do you have a class on one account where other people can't comment, like the general public,
Mhm.
that you can just have an account and only have your students having
Yes.
access?
Exactly. So we can have our settings accordingly, where we are not inviting others. We can have our own classes, own private account. Obviously, we have to be very careful with the notorious factors, right? These days,
Mhm.
topics become politically very insensitive. So, yeah, the settings when you are going to make your classroom activities based on Instagram is a very important factor, I would say.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
So, yeah. So, but yes, because as such, for with Instagram, our main relevance is that it is for our entertainment purposes, right? For social connectivity and all, it is a social platform, social media based platform. But still, I would say if we have to include today's generation, make them interested in our teaching, we have to include such medias also. And again, like I've referred to so many studies where authors are sharing that currently usage of Instagram for educational purposes is little underrated and underutilized. But yes, we can use creativity to improve it. It's just
Yeah,
another medium, I would say, with
yeah.
its own pros and cons.
As a hairdresser, I watch educational videos on Instagram,
Oh,
but
yes.
I'm not sure how to interact with them. So that's a new concept for
Yeah.
me.
Okay. So, any other question, any other idea you want to share with me before I stop the recording?
I can't think of anything else right now.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
in
you.
for my presentation and wish you all the best for the course. I'm very sure you will do very great in this, right? It's a very
Thank you.
interesting course. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Monica. Have a nice day ahead and have
Yeah.
nice summers. Okay.